Roger.
TC-1, TC. Go ahead, TC.
This is a commercial suborbital rocket carrying 10 materials and biotechnology experiments. JOUST 1 mission is sponsored by the University of Alabama and Huntsville's Consortium for Materials Development in Space, a NASA Center for Commercial Development of Space. Orbital Sciences Corporation, Space Data Division in Chandler, Arizona, is the manufacturer of the Prospector solid rocket and will provide launch services under a contract with University of Alabama at Huntsville. The mission is expected to conclude at about 21 minutes after our launch. T-minus 7 minutes and counting.
We have the capability.
Weather looks good for this morning's launch.
25 to hold for 40 minutes on STS internal power. Okay, if we have to hold in 5 minutes, seconds, I recommend holding for 40 minutes on internal power for the FTS, proceeding when possible. And if
T-minus 6 minutes, 20 seconds.
We can't go. Okay, we copy. There'll be an RSO call.
TCSRO, any jobs?
TC?
Okay, the RSO picked 5 minutes and 30 seconds as a handy point in our count. If there is another point you would like to hold, please say so.
BC-1, what do you want to do?
T-minus 5 minutes, 45 seconds.
Take them to fix their problem?
Negative, no estimate at this time.
Gonna hold them at 5:30.
Understood.
T-minus 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Let's hold at 5:30.
The countdown is being held now. Test team is looking at a problem.
528. Roger, copy.
Okay, BC-1, TC. Go ahead, TC.
We have about 40 minutes capability of hold time at
Roger,
this point in our count.
A meter on the pad safety console that's doing that for us. Logging the hold time. No, it's logging the time on internal for the batteries. We'll log the hold time here too. Thank you much. And talk to me when you've started your hold time log. Roger.
The countdown for the JOUST 1 mission is currently holding at T-minus 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Launch team needs time to resolve a problem. Not quite sure at this point exactly what it is they're looking at. We're standing by to monitor the vehicle stations, and
Okay, TC.
Blockhouse is in Launch Complex 20. The launch team is in Complex 20 Blockhouse.
We're recommending that we hold here at this step and we'll resume there when you give us a go, unless we get into a late hold. If we're holding for anything in the neighborhood of 15 or 20 minutes where we've used up half of our capacity, what... You can get back to me when we get that close. Roger.
Our test conductor today is George Purvis. He's the program manager for our Space Data Division, Orbital Sciences Corporation. Dr. Fran Westling is the associate director of the University of Alabama at Huntsville's Consortium for Materials Development in Space.
I'll be off on the payload net. Payload, stop me if we need to. BC-1, PSS.
Countdown is holding at T-minus 5 minutes, 30 seconds. This is JOUST Launch Control.
Okay.
This is JOUST Launch Control at T-minus 5 minutes, 30 seconds and holding. We're in an indefinite hold at this point to allow the Joust test team to resolve problems.
TC.
No word on how long this hold will be. We will go back to the STS-39 mission programming.
Okay,
and the NASA Select
would you
satellite
like to,
will
hold
be
at
going
5
back
minutes
to
and
the
28 or recycle
STS-39
to 5:30?
Discovery mission. This is Joust Launch
528
Control.
fine.
Okay, Roger. And do you have a preference as to pickup time on the even minute, or just go when we're ready?
528 will be fine. Do you have an estimate as to when we will pick up the count?
Last estimate I heard is about 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. BC1, TC. Go ahead, TC. You copy the conversation with RSO.
This is Mission Control Houston. The red team aboard Discovery has just woken up.
We're standing by for resumption of the countdown for the Joust 1 launch this morning. Countdown clock is at T-minus 5 minutes and counting. Countdown was held to allow the range time to troubleshoot an issue and following the trajectory of the Joust Prospector rocket. Countdown is resumed. We're less than 5 minutes away now from the launch of the Joust 1 mission.
We have TM receiver or decom lock at Tel 4. Also report when transponders go.
Roger, copy.
And vehicle is reported go.
BC1, go. BC2, go. Launcher and payload, go. RCO is taking care of the aircraft and the ship.
All test team members have been polled. They are ready to launch the Joust rocket today. We're now at T-minus 4 minutes and counting. Test team's now going through the final steps in the countdown to prepare the rocket for launch today. Total mission is expected to last about 20 minutes when the experiment package will splash down about 280 nautical miles offshore. The Liberty Star will be out to recover the payload package. Liberty Star is used to recover the Space Shuttle solid rocket boosters after launch. The ship is on station, and some of the experimenters are on board that ship to take a look at their time-critical investigations. Weather remains clear for this morning's launch. This is the first launch of the Joust 1 mission. T-minus 3 minutes and counting. Just gotten a range clearance for launch today. T-minus 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Vehicle is go. The launch vehicle is a single-stage solid fuel vehicle, about 27,000 pounds. The rocket will use a single-stage propulsion system provided by a Castor 4A rocket motor. This is a derivative of the Castor 4 that has flown successfully over 300 times as a Delta II strap-on booster and as a single-stage sounding rocket. Now less than 2 minutes away from the launch of Joust 1. The motor is manufactured by Thiokol Corporation. It will burn approximately 59 seconds after ignition. T-minus 1 minute, 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 1 minute and counting. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds and counting. Test team is looking at an issue with the safe and arm on the flight termination system. The countdown clock is holding at T-minus 38 seconds. Test team is troubleshooting an issue with an indication in the blockhouse for the rocket's safe and arm device. We're in an indefinite hold here at the T-minus 38 second mark for the launch of Joust 1 from Launch Complex 20 at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. Test team at Complex 20 is troubleshooting an issue with the indications of the vehicle's safe and arm device. Team is continuing to troubleshoot the indication of the vehicle's safe and arm device. Countdown clock is holding at T-minus 38 seconds.
Well, they didn't get to 0.
Countdown clock is still holding at T-minus 38 seconds and holding. Joust 1 vehicle is poised on the launch pad. It's mounted to a rail at Complex 20. It will be launched on about a 78 to 80 degree azimuth. No word yet on exactly when we will resume our countdown this morning. The weather continues to look good. Test team is continuing to troubleshoot at Complex 20 at the blockhouse at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. The Liberty Star recovery ship for the experiment package and the chase plane are on station to assist in the recovery operations for the Joust 1 experiment package. The Prospector launch vehicle will be lifting the payload approximately 400 miles into space. And this one-stage rocket will provide about 13 minutes of microgravity time for the experiments. Experiment package is expected to splash down in the Atlantic Ocean about 280 nautical miles offshore, where it will be recovered by the Liberty Star and The descent of the package will be tracked by a chase plane. The JAWS launch is funded in part by a grant from NASA's Office of Commercial Programs.
We recommend that we recycle back to T-minus 2 minutes and start again. VC1 concurs.
Test team is continuing their troubleshooting. It appears things do look good.
Roger.
They are getting the
TC.
indications
Okay.
from the consoles. There appears we may be recycling the countdown back to the T-minus 2 minute mark. The test conductor is polling members of the team to make sure they are ready to recycle the count back to the T-minus 2 minute mark. The clock is now at T-minus 38 seconds and holding. We're standing by to resume the count. We still need to check with the range safety to make sure they are clear to launch. This will be the fourth commercial launch sponsored by the University of Alabama at Huntsville, Consortium for Materials Development and Space. The previous launches, all part of the consortium's consort launch services, were conducted at the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. Countdown clock is still at T-minus 38 seconds and holding. We're standing by for resumption of the count. We're waiting for a clearance from the range safety officer. Team does have verification that the safe and arm capability on the vehicle is working properly. This is for the flight termination system. Also, they need verification that the motor ignition circuit is armed. There was some problem with these indications several minutes ago, and we did hold the count at T-minus 38 seconds. The experiments will reach their altitude, their apogee, approximately 7.5 minutes after launch. That will be approximately 437 statute miles. That will be the altitude of the experiment package. We do have a final clearance to launch from the range, and the countdown will begin at the T-minus 2 minute mark.
Okay, we'll pick up at 167, step 167. Confirm VC1. Confirm.
BMS is a VC2.
Hey, go ahead.
Did you verify sequencer?
Verified.
TC, this is payload. Notify us when we can go back to internal power.
Is he ready? Let him go back to internal. VC1, can payload go to internal? That's a roger. And how are you on the 2 minute? Looking good. Vehicle is go. Payload TC at step 168. Prospectors, go for launch. Verify payload go.
Payload is go for launch.
SROTC on range ops. Joust 1 is go for launch.
And we're now at T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds and counting. Test conductors verified they are go for launch. Payload is go. Both the Prospector and the Joust are standing by for launch now. T-minus 1 minute 15 seconds and counting. Standing by for the launch of the Joust 1 mission.
Go ahead, VMS.
Prospector rocket.
30-second table. 30-second table will show no go at this time. PSS TC, release motor ignition inhibit.
T-minus 55 minutes and counting. T-minus 45 seconds and counting. The actuators for the jet and air vanes, or what appears to be fins on the Prospector rocket, have gone to internal power. T-minus 30 seconds. Vehicle is go. Standing by for the terminal count. T-minus 20 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're standing by for, we do not have first motion of the vehicle. Standing by for information from the launch team at Complex 20.
You see, did not get first motion on the launcher console.
We did not get first motion.
The hang fire procedure, page 44.
Launch team now going to the hang fire procedure.
Launcher verify first motion not lit. No lit. Okay, TC verifies vehicle still on the rail. TC's hold fire switches up at step 3. VMS, safe the motor ignition system. Motor ignition safe.
Vehicle is on the rail.
And VMS, turn motor ignition power supply off. Ignition power
The
on.
motor ignition system is being saved by the launch team at Complex 20.
Safe. I cannot safe vehicle ordnance. I'm being inhibited by somebody.
The ignition power supply has been turned off.
have enabled on first stage.
That's a roger. I am trying to disarm and cannot.
Team is trying at this point to disarm the vehicle.
Be advised, TC. I have shut off internal power to the vehicle.
I'm still getting an internal power indication. He shut off our flight computer internal power.
Right, STS internal power is still up.
Team is trying to verify whether there is the rocket is on internal or external power at this time.
PSS, this is VC1. Are you inhibiting my ability to disarm this vehicle?
Your checklist does not call for me to go to it.
Team is currently trying to save the
That's affirmed.
Prospector and Joust 1 rocket. Launch did not occur as planned.
VC1. We need to get
The
that.
team is in the hang fire procedure steps, trying to save the vehicle at this point.
I cannot. I'm trying to disarm it, and I cannot.
Launch team is continuing their safing
Frankly, I don't know.
steps to
Okay, thank you. We're
save
working it
the
in here.
rocket. Launch did not occur as planned, and the team is currently going to the procedures for a hang fire.
Copy. You do have the vehicle internal systems powered down, right, VC1? That, I have the flight computers powered down. Telemetry and transponder are still on internal. Transferring to external now.
Copy, thank you.
Flight computers have been powered down.
STS is still on internal.
BC2, we want to leave the FTS on internal for now. Thank you.
That is Roger.
Okay, VMS, this is I'm looking at step 7. Can you verify the motor ignition system safe is lit? Ignition safe is lit. Okay, and BC1, I'm looking at step 8. Verify all vehicle external power supplies are off. FTS to remain on internal.
That's a firm Vita TC.
Thank you.
We have verification that the
Oh,
motor
BC1,
ignition system
turn
is
actuator
safe
internal power off.
Actuator
and
internal
that all
power
vehicle power supplies are off.
And BC1, turn ground support computer printer off.
off. Printer off.
And looking at step 12, I'm looking at FTS is on internal.
And continuing to go through the procedures
FTS
for
power is off. Copy,
hang
that's
fire
fine.
of the Prospector Joust rocket.
Need you to turn your payload power off, please. Roger.
Payload power is off.
Thank you. And VMS, this is TC. Looking at step 14, looking for abnormal characteristics. Recommend we sit where we are while we're looking at this vehicle ordnance safing.
Team is looking for any abnormal characteristics at this point while they're continuing their safing process.
TC, this is RSO on Ray Jobs.
RSL, this is TC.
Yes, we were informed that you turned the beacon off.
We'll get it on for you.
The team, of course, will be troubleshooting to try to determine the reason for the hang fire today. Launch of Joust 1 did not occur as planned. The countdown was resumed at the T-minus 2-minute mark after holding for several minutes while we troubleshot an issue with tracking the rocket in flight. That was resolved and the count was resumed at T-minus 2 minutes and counting. Count proceeded on from that point without any problems. And we counted on down to T0 and got apparently a hold fire. There was no motion of the vehicle at all. The vehicle is still on its launch rail, and the team is proceeding with their hang fire procedures to safe the vehicle and to note any possible anything abnormal. And we will be scrubbing the launch port today for the Joust 1 Prospector launch. We will be going back to the Johnson Space Center in Houston and Mission Control for the landing of Discovery and mission STS-39 today. The satellite will be going back to Mission Control in Houston for the landing of Discovery and mission STS-39.
This is Mission Control Houston. The entry flight team now in the process of taking the latest weather briefing from the weather office here at the Johnson Space Center. Crew aboard Discovery continuing through their cabin stow and configuration for the entry and landing this afternoon.
Discovery Houston, will be LOS here in about 2 minutes. Back with you on the other side 4 minutes later.
Okay, Fox, we'll see you there.
This is Mission Control. Houston will reacquire the signal with the crew in about a minute and a half as we've lost signal through the tracking and data relay satellite system. Flight controllers here on the entry team have just completed a weather briefing. The weather still looks very favorable for an opportunity to land at Edwards on the concrete runway 22 on the first opportunity this afternoon. Landing would occur at 1:49 Central Time. The deorbit burn would occur about an hour prior to that at 12:49 p.m. Central. As we've just completed the weather briefing, we will turn the NASA Select feed, the satellite, over to the Dryden Flight Research Facility out at Edwards so that the Johnson Space Center weather folks can brief the people out in California on the current weather conditions and the projected weather forecast. That will be done in about 5 minutes.
Discovery Houston, we're back with you on Tetris West.
Roger, Discovery. Houston.
activated STP-1.
Roger that.
Discovery to CIC.
Go ahead.
Roger, we're ready to deactivate the CMP, and we need to read down some values as we do so.
Okay, we're ready to copy those.
Okay, for Foxtrot 508, it's 58.39, and for Foxtrot 509, it's 56.26.
Roger, copy.
And for Tango Echo 55, page 2, I'm just going to read down the values. 0, 0, 384, 30.00, 29.94, 18.3, 82.05, 0, 31.63, 38.15, 82.04, 82.65.
Roger, Discovery.
And for PE04, page 2, Echo 520 is 99.84.
Okay, we got it all, thanks. Discovery Houston. We've got a little bit of weather information for you and some items for deorbit prep when you're ready to listen.
Stand by a second, sir.
Okay.
Okay, Sox, go ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, at Edwards, right now, we're forecasting 15,000 scattered, 25,000 scattered, 7 miles visibility, and winds from 270 at 8, gust to 16. That's for your landing time, an MET of about 7 to 9 hours. One thing we're watching out for, though, is a possibility that the winds could build during the day. The forecast after 9 hours MET is 270 at 1.5, gust to 2.5. So we'll be watching the winds real close. An altimeter there of 3005 and temperature of about 74 degrees. We're also worried a little bit about some possible light turbulence in the jet stream from about 45,000 to 35,000. We've taken a good look at the wind profile, though, and we don't see any real big velocity changes below 30,000 feet. Also, Northrop's looking pretty good. 25,000 scattered, 160 at 12, gust 18, 7 miles viz. Okay. Also, wanted to pass that we can expect some ratty calm on this next Tidris East pass because Tidris will be off the tail. And I've got your CRT timer set up when you're ready to copy.
Ready to copy.
Okay, that's an item 17 plus 6 plus 16 plus 30.
Okay, we copy 6 plus 16 plus 30.
That's right. And one more thing, when you get into the IMU align for the verification attitude, if you follow the timeline precisely, that'll get you into attitude about 10 minutes before the verification stars or AOS. So you may have to wait a little bit for the stars to come into view. But other than that,
Okay, we understand.
Yeah, and there's no other changes to the IMU align pads. Everything should be okay as per the checklist. And that's it for right now.
This is Mission Control Houston. Entry Capcom Ken Bowersox radioing to the crew the latest weather forecast at Edwards at the time of landing. The current weather forecast at the time of landing looks like there'll be some light scattered clouds at 15,000 feet, at 25,000 feet. Visibility is expected to be very good at 7+ miles. The winds will be coming out of 270 degrees, 8 knots, gusting to 16 knots. 270 degrees is a wind out of due west. There is a possibility of some light to moderate turbulence at between the 45,000 and 35,000 foot levels, and NASA T-38 training jet will be flying some runs at those altitudes to get a better handle on the turbulence level there. That forecast, however, is go for a landing on runway 22, the concrete at Edwards Air Force Base. The latest and greatest take on the deorbit burn time is 12:50 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The landing, however, remains 1:49 p.m. In mission elapsed time, the deorbit burn would occur at 8 days, 6 hours, 16 minutes, and exactly 30 seconds. The landing would be at 8 days, 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 30 seconds. Again, the deorbit burn is scheduled for 12:50 p.m. Central Time, and the landing at 1:49 p.m. Central Time.